time of day you happen to be joining me, and welcome to Nacha's Vendor Showcase. Today we'll be talking about what Nacha and the modern ACH can do for you. But I like to call this speed dating with Nacha. I have a lot of information I'm going to share with you today. I'm going to give you just enough to hopefully pique your interest, and I'll give you ways that you can learn more if you'd like to explore any of these topics a little deeper. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I always like to remind everyone is the strength of the network. So the ACH network is set apart from many of our other payment systems in different ways, such as with the ACH network, we offer both credits and debits. Other payment systems don't do that. They either offer credits or debits, but not both. So that's the beauty with the ACH network. We also have the ability to reach consumers, governments, businesses, basically any kind of individual or organization within the United States. But the real strength of the network is the fact that you can connect to virtually all endpoints. Our network, you've heard this before, is ubiquitous in that its reach is throughout the United States to virtually every bank or credit union account. The ACH network continues to grow. In our slide here, we're taking a look back over 10 years of continuous growth. And that growth, while it may have been smaller 10 years ago, the growth is growing. When you look back 7 years, you see a jump of 1 billion, that's with a B, 1 billion new payments from 2014 to 2015. And from there, it just continues to grow, adding at least 1 billion new payments every year. Now, these payments are credits and debits, and they're consumer payments, they're business payments, they're all kinds of payments. And we're very excited to say that in 2020, we project that we'll be adding almost 2 billion new payments to the ACH network. So let's take a look at what kind of payments those are. So what I've done is I pulled out just the second quarter of 2020 to take a look at. And now we all know the second quarter of 2020 is not your average quarter. We know there's going to be some very interesting information as we look at the different types of volume within that quarter. And I do recommend that you continue to watch Nacha to see when our third quarter data is released, which should be happening any time now. I think it'll be very interesting to compare second quarter of 2020 to third quarter of 2020. And I'm going to give you your first little hint here. If you'll notice in the upper right-hand corner in green, a URL, nacha.org/ACH stats. If you want more information, you want to be able to look back at previous volumes, previous statistics from other quarters, other years, and you want to continue watching as we move forward, that's the place to go. That's your place to get deeper information into ACH network volume and statistics. So when we look at second quarter of this year, we'll see that we had total volume of 6.6 billion with a B again. And we can look at that and see that more of the volume is debits than credits, which is kind of interesting when you think back. A lot of times credits were more, there were more credits than debits within the network. And a lot of people think of ACH as being direct deposit, but we see direct payment is also taking on a larger chunk of the total volume. When we look at our growth in second quarter over second quarter of the previous year of 2019, we see that volume growth of nearly 8% year over year. So that's a nice amount of increase, and I think we'll continue to see that throughout this year. Another thing I want to note here is same day volume. So total volume second quarter year over year was nearly 8%. Same day volume in that same time frame increased 37%. So we're seeing a lot of ACH payments moving into the same day speed. The thing I'll note here, you'll see a little note at the bottom about not only has the volume increased, but the value of your average same day payment. So keep in mind in March of this past year, We quadrupled the dollar limit, the per transaction limit on same day, went from 25,000 per entry to 100,000 per entry. So with that, because you'll see the value has risen 33% from first quarter to second quarter, that we know that financial institutions and their customers are taking advantage of that dollar increase. So it's not just same day that has grown. If you look at the network overall and take out a couple of different applications, let's take a look in second quarter. So we did see volume growth in B2B payments, seeing 1 billion B2B payments. So those are your CCDs, your CTXs, and that was in the second quarter. Now, direct deposit also growth there. The other places that I'd like to note is our internet payments and our P2P. So think about in the second quarter, there were a lot of consumers who were at home during that time frame that may not have normally been at home. They were looking for new ways to make payments, and they were probably doing more internet payments and also making payments to each other, our B2B payments. Now, one thing you'll note, healthcare was down in volume in second quarter. And think about in second quarter, many people were not doing their normal doctor visits. They were staying home. So we did see those decrease. Now I will give you a sneak peek into third quarter. We did see all of those numbers increase in the third quarter. So all of those were coming up. So let's keep moving and see what else we have. Oh, so within the ACH network, we spend a lot of time at Nacha in looking to different industries and engaging with those industries and advocating for ACH. And so these are 4 of those that we focus on. So, we've spent a lot of time with healthcare and with those kind of medical payments and moving a lot of the medical payments over into the ACH network. But we also spend time with nonprofits, subscription services, and tolling. And so with those, if you have those organizations as your customers, you might want to consider spending more time talking to them about the benefits of using ACH as a way to collect donations, whether they have subscription services, so making those monthly payments as an ACH debit, and also replenishing your highway tolls, your transponder as you go through, or maybe your card when you get on the bus or the metro or whatever you happen to use. Using ACH for those recurring payments can be more efficient, can be more effective, and can also allow more of the income to go to those organizations. So if you're part of one of those organizations or those are your customers, check out nacha.org/ACH community for more information to help get businesses started in those areas. So we have lots of new rules coming. And I tried to gather everything up here because I know it's hard to keep in your head what's coming, when's it coming, are there things that are happening at the same time, what do I need to be prepared for next? So let's put it all together on one slide. And from here, you can see nacha.org/rules/upcoming is where you would go to get information on each of these changes, to get more in depth on how to implement, what the impacts are, and what the benefits are with each of these. And you'll see some new ones that you might not have seen previously if you've seen this slide. On September 30th, we did have 8 new rule amendments approved, and 5 of those are part of the meaningful modernization that you'll see down in our September of 2021 implementation period. We also added 2 in June that will be coming in June related to improper reversals and returning improper reversals, and also defining the limitation on warranty claims. And then the last of those 8 is actually coming in January of 2021. And this has to do with enforcement of rules and defines egregious violations. So all of those are part of our upcoming rules page, and you can find additional information on each of those pieces. But we are going to talk about some of those right now. All right, so the first one, our all new ACH Contact Registry. So you will note the deadline to register is October 30th. So that is very close. That is the end of this month. So where would you go to register? up in your right-hand corner, riskmanagementportal.nacha.org. That's where you need to go. So why do you need to do that? Well, there's a rule. All financial institutions participating in the ACH network need to enter ACH contacts. So they will enter contacts for their ACH operations area and also their fraud and risk management area. Now, if you have the same contacts that do both of those jobs in your shop, that's fine. They can be entered for both of those. And the other thing is, it doesn't have to be individuals. It could be teams. So you may enter individual contact for ACH operations, but you may have a team that handles fraud and risk management. It's up to you how you have your shop set up and your contacts set up and how you enter those. You can also enter contacts. We've seen financial institutions enter contacts for their wire department, for their card areas, for compliance, from many different areas. And the key here is that having yourself entered, if there's a problem with another financial institution and they need to reach you, this makes it much easier for them to find you and be able to reach out to you and let you know what's going on, what's happening, and vice versa. By you being registered, you have access to everyone else's contact information, so you can reach out and contact them. I was talking the other day about reversals, and this is a great way. If you had to reverse entire files and you needed to reach out and you wanted the RDFIs to know this was happening and understand what was going on, using the contact registry, you'd be able to quickly find their contact information and reach out to them. The last I checked, we had over 23,000 contacts entered in the registry. So it's going to continue to grow and it's going to be a great resource, a great tool for you. So let's talk about same day now. So with same day, you see the volume continue to grow. Keep in mind, 2016, that was only 1/4 of credits only, because remember we started with credits with same day. 2017, you get a full year of credits, but only 1/4 of debits. So it takes until 2018 where you start seeing full years of credits and debits, and the volume continues to grow. In 2018 and 2019, we saw enhancements to the funds availability, speeding that up. And then in 2020, we saw the additional enhancement of modifying the dollar limit from 25,000 to 100,000. So each year, not only did volume grow, but the enhancements that were added to same-day ACH made it even more beneficial for everyone. I mentioned the dollar limit increasing, so hopefully you're thinking about this. I wanted to share some ways that you can use that increased dollar limit. Also here you'll see the average value has increased by 40%. This is a little more current than my previous number, so we continue to see the value of the average dollar amount going up. It's being used for B2B payments, and we knew that was where a big chunk of it would come in because they do have those higher dollar payments. But also think about the payroll deposit. Depending on the size of the offset to fund that payroll, you might be able to do that piece as a same-day ACH, since you now could do that entry up to $100,000. Also, disaster assistance payments, being able to get those higher dollar amounts to the customers for the insurance customers when they need that assistance right away, being able to use the same day for that to get it to their accounts much more quickly. We also have merchant funding for those small businesses that need to get the funding from those credit card payments to be able to buy their next round of supplies, whether it's the baker or whoever it is that needs to buy their additional product to be able to make more muffins, to sell more muffins and have more income. Being able to move that more quickly is beneficial for those small businesses. And then the last one I really want to make sure everyone's thinking about is reversals. So using same-day ACH for reversals enhances the ability to get the reversals fast through the network faster, and your success rate is going to be much higher than sending your reversal in the normal in the next day payment. So using same day for reversals enhances the success rate. And then the last thing here, keep in mind, as I mentioned, next phase of same-day ACH is coming in less than 6 months, March of 2021. is our third window coming. So the operators will have a third window. It'll have settlement that goes with that window. So as an ODFI, you're going to be able to submit your files for same-day payments up to 2 hours later, up to 4:45 p.m. Eastern Time, and settlement for those payments will be at 6 p.m. Funds availability is the end of the day. So that's when, for our RDFIs, you want to make sure the funds are available at end of processing day. So having that additional 2 hours will cover many of the same use cases we're used to, but it's also going to expand it. Particularly, we heard from many of the financial institutions, the businesses on the western part of the U.S., that they'd like to get some extra hours in the day to use same day to allow them to have more time to get those same day files in. So that's coming in less than 6 months, March of 2021. Keep in mind, if you hear from your operator that they're offering testing, I highly encourage you to do testing with your operator to make sure that you're getting your settlement advices and that all the payments are flowing properly. All right, so what if I need more information? What if I need help with same day? So we have a resource center, and I'm going to talk to you about several different resource centers that Nacha offers, and this is the first one I'm going to mention. So you'll see in green, upper right-hand corner, nacha.org/same-day resources. If you come to this area of our website, to this resource center, you'll be able to find information about all things same day. Doesn't matter what participants you are in the network, whether you're an end user, an ODFI, an RDFI, there's going to be information out there to help you thinking about impacts, implementation, maybe use cases you hadn't thought of that might be of benefit for your organization. So lots of great information out there related to same day. This should be your go-to when you're looking for information. Next resource center, this is another rule I want to mention. So same day as our third window coming in on March 19th, 2021, we also have the rule supplementing fraud detection standards for web debits. A lot of times you'll hear this called the account validation rule. So this is a rule that says for consumer web debits, so web debits are for consumers, consumer debits that are happening, this is the first use of that account information, validating that information. And so with that, with this resource page, we know a lot of our ODFIs and a lot of our their customers are asking questions. What does this rule mean? How does it impact me? How do I do this? What's valid? We created a validation resource page. So on here, there's a lot of information about what the rule means, but there's also, if you check out this page, nacha.org/AV resources, we offered a series of free webinars from various different vendors that provide tools to help with account validation, so that you would be able to look at different tools and be able to evaluate if any of those could help your business. Okay, so our next resource center is for our corporates, for our corporate end users. So coming here, we found that a lot of our financial institutions said, I need tools to help present to my customers, but also to the people on my staff, whether it's my relationship managers, our salespeople who are not ACH geeks, to help them understand new rules and how they impact our customers and how to talk to our customers about it. So we've created the ACH rules resources for corporates, nacha.org/corporates. So on here, you can sign up for rules news. This will allow, if you sign up, you'll receive emails from Nacha when there's news about rules. It's not something that you're going to get every week or you're going to get inundated with. It's if there's something happening in the ACH rules world that you need to know about, you will get an email about it. So I highly recommend signing up for rules news. Some of the other things on this page are also an understanding of how the rulemaking process, how rules are made. There's also links to when there are requests for comment open, so you can quickly get to those. But the one thing I really want to highlight is our end user briefings. So this goes along with the request for tools to help educate the corporates, but also the non-ACH FI personnel. So our end user briefings, they're a one-pager, actually front and back, so I guess a two-pager, that focuses on a specific upcoming ACH rule from the corporate perspective to explain to our corporates what the rule is, what it means, how it could impact them, and how to prepare. So lots of good information in a format that hopefully our end users will be able to easily work through and understand impacts of upcoming rules. So those are there for as an FI. Feel free to download them and share them with your customers. All right, let's look at our next resource. So this one is our ACH resources during the coronavirus pandemic. So if you'll remember back in the spring, Nacha was issuing operations bulletins like nonstop. And so we wanted to have a place where all those operations bulletins were gathered together so you could quickly see those. But also we got a lot of questions about different things. And so there's an FAQ section, and that is updated constantly. Whenever there's new answers, new questions, those FAQs are added. And a lot of those have to do with the stimulus payments and some of the fraud that was happening during that time frame, how to handle operations ACH operations that might be impacted because you don't have staff on site. All those different things all gathered in one place. So that's our ACH COVID resources. So be sure to check that one out. Next up that I wanted to talk about, not a resource center, but another good resource, we have the Nacha Certified program. And so this program is for third-party senders, and they have to meet certain certification standards. And those standards will signal that they have a strong core ACH practice and that they have strong corporate governance. We're looking for third-party senders that have solid risk and compliance practices and that can meet those certain standards. And then once Nacha has done the review, they can be considered Nacha certified. And so that's something, if you are a third-party sender, or if you're a financial institution that has third-party senders that would like to be recognized as Nacha certified, then check out nachacertified.org for additional information about that program. All right, so here I have a summary of corporate resources. These are resources for your corporate customers, or if you're a corporate that you may want to use. I talked about some of these already, our rules for corporates resource center. We also have another area, nacha.org business, and this is more, while the corporate resource center is very focused on rules, the ACH supports businesses is more focused on the benefits and the reasons you would want to use ACH and how to get started in ACH. Then we also, if you look through the supports businesses area and say, yeah, I really want to do this, now how do I get started? Check out the ACH Quick Start tool. This is a great tool that you've decided I want to do ACH and let's get rolling. How do I get it happening? Okay. I talked about the account validation resource. Upcoming rules, very important to check that out. If there are requests for comment, please, as a participant in the network, respond to requests for comments. We look at every single response and we want to hear from all parts of the network. We need to understand if there are parts of a proposal that impact you in a positive or negative way. Please share that information with us so that we can create the best new rules and modifications to current rules within our network. And then I had also mentioned the rules news. I also have another listing of additional resources. Here's some other things. We talked about same-day resources and coronavirus and statistics. As I mentioned, third quarter coming out very soon, so be on the lookout for that. Another thing you might want to consider, if you're still at the beginning or you have customers who are at the beginning of thinking, I want to do faster payments, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I don't have a strategy for figuring this out. Check out the Faster Payments Playbook. It's a great understanding of the various types of faster payments, but also will help you create a strategy for determining which types of faster payments you want to offer and for what different use cases. Other things I'll mention, current fraud threats Always a great place to check if you think something's happening in the network and you want to understand more about it. Check out that, the current fraud threats. Fixius is a program for exchanging payment-related information across all payment types. More information, fixius.org, and then we have our consulting arm at elevationconsulting.org. So then the last thing that I want to say is that the ACH network continues to evolve, and it's because of all of you. It's because everyone in the network participating and providing input and growing their ACH business. So thank you very much.